I got my haircut, very exciting, and I also have, somebody's texting me, have this extremely weird beard thing going on. But in the words of Hilary Duff, first off, I am not an expert on this stuff, okay? I know that. I'm learning as I go, like we all are. But I did have an experience, so I wanted to share it with you guys. So probably a little over a year and a half ago, the best way I could describe my eating habits was veganism. I didn't eat meat, I didn't eat eggs, no cheese, yogurts, or anything like that. I tried at all costs to not eat any animal products whatsoever. It was strictly a plant-based diet. Now, if you've watched my videos for any length of time, you pretty much know that I have always in some way been health conscious, even before this veganism excursion ever happened. My friends always made fun of me for not drinking Cokes, as we call it in the South, or pop or soft drinks, whatever you other people say. And I was also made fun of for like eating salads and stuff that kids just generally really didn't eat that much. But I wanted to take my health consciousness to the next level. I got into this because I had recently watched some popular documentaries that were getting spread around, and I also started watching some YouTube lectures from vegans. And I was very inspired, and I was 100% confident that this was the best way to eat and live for not only myself, but also for everyone. Because after all, why would I want to eat a chicken's period, and why would I want meat rotting inside of me, as some videos told me? So all at once, I stopped animal products altogether. Hardcore, I mean, like, I was very committed. I was getting an insane amount of fruits and vegetables, and I was eating lots of nuts, legumes, everything like that. Like, I was eating a lot of food. A lot of food. Constantly. Like, literally constantly. And I felt very confident that I was on the right path. Obviously, it was an adjustment for me, but I knew that I was healthier than I was before, so that made missing out on a lot of things that I really enjoyed, like eggs, worth missing out on. So I had been doing this for a couple months now, super confident, hitting it hard, but I began to notice one thing. I was constantly hungry, which was confusing to me because of how much I was eating. But I began to realize that it wasn't like a hunger that I had ever experienced before. Like, I was physically full. I literally could not eat anymore. It was different than regular hunger. Like, I was seriously craving something, but I didn't know what. But I shrugged it off because I was healthy now, and obviously any craving I was having was for something bad, because we've all learned our whole lives that cravings are bad. They're the things that make you cheat on your diet. They make you eat ice cream, chips, or pizza. But I tried to shut down my craving because I knew that was the right thing to do. I didn't really know what I was craving, honestly, but I knew that I was craving something. So I kept going, full steam ahead, fully committed. Wasn't eating things at people's houses, even if it was soup, because it had chicken in it. I would find other stuff to eat at their house, like a salad or stuff like that. Whatever else they had there, I would figure out a way. But as time kept going, this craving kept getting louder and louder, the healthier I felt I was. And I knew I was winning over my body because I was not giving in to this craving. I was not about to give my body what it wanted. So as time went on and as things progressed, I realized that this insatiable craving was for protein. I would think about eggs, or I would think about chicken, but I would quickly shut down those thoughts because I had recently watched a YouTube video that had talked about how if you have too much protein in your diet, it can strip calcium from your bones, which is bad. So that knowledge helped me to push back on my craving even more, the louder that it pronounced itself. In hindsight, I was pretty much listening to every source except for my own body. And again, I was eating a lot. I was eating a lot of food. I cannot emphasize enough how much I was eating. I was eating a lot of almond butter, nuts, quinoa, beans, stuff like that. Anything that had protein in it that I wouldn't feel guilty about eating. But I just started to feel terrible about myself because it just was never enough. It was weird. I wanted to overcome this craving mentally because I knew for a fact that it was my body trying to get me to cheat on my diet, but at the same time, I couldn't help but do everything possible to try and satisfy this craving in a healthy way. This went on for about 6 months or more, and it led me to be the smallest I have ever been in my adult life. It was getting to the point where I could tell that it was actually gonna start becoming a problem. And I knew that if I kept going like this, I was gonna lose more and more weight, which I just instinctively knew was not a good thing. I knew for a fact over everything else that that did not need to happen. And at that moment, I knew that something needed to change. So for the first time in a very long time, I began to implement more eggs and goat cheese and meat into my diet. You know, I wasn't like going to McDonald's and getting like a Happy Meal or anything like that. I don't even know if they still have those. I love those toys. Maybe I should go get a Happy Meal. Health freak tries Happy Meal for first time in 15 years. Got it. But all joking aside, I was eating clean meats. I felt satisfied for the first time in a very, very long time. And I felt so much better. I started to do more research on nutrition and food and the human body, and was coming to the realization that every single human is so incredibly different from every other human that goes for their health and food needs as well. I came to understand that for some people, veganism is the way to go, but for others, they could never thrive on that diet because their bodies weren't meant to, for a variety of different factors and reasons that you can look up for yourself, but one reason that includes your ancestry. It's about understanding your body and understanding its cravings, some good, some bad, but know that your cravings are always giving you a hint into something that is going on with you. It's about listening to your body as it constantly communicates with you, cutting out processed foods, and most importantly, eating clean, real food. You literally cannot go wrong by doing that. I mean, maybe I was doing it all wrong. Maybe I wasn't eating enough or eating enough of the right things. I don't know. I just cannot see how I could have possibly eaten any more than I was. But what I do know is that the human race is unbelievably diverse on this planet, even within the same country, and that every single person is unique. And to say that a diet that works for me personally will work for you and every other person on this planet or the United States, just from what I went through, that just seems extremely unlikely, and it just doesn't ring true at all to me anymore. I'm not saying that all vegans are like this, or that even most vegans are like this, but I have run into some vegans who, like me, felt like their diet was the only healthy option, which I don't really know how to say it nicely, I guess, but that's just not true. I would say to anyone out there who is thinking of becoming a vegan, research it more before you jump in. And for those of you who do decide to try it, I cannot stress enough how much you need to have a game plan. Don't just go into it like I did, saying that you're gonna eat more fruits and vegetables. That's not gonna work. Plan out what you're going to eat and what foods are going to give you which nutrient. Really plan out your meals and decide which foods you're going to need a lot of to satisfy cravings that you're most likely going to have. And just be sure to listen to your cravings. They are telling you something. You know, a good thing that came from this whole veganism experiment was that I learned to kind of understand what my body was telling me and what my body needs. It sounds weird, but I kind of overall became more in tune to my body. Before the vegan experiment, I was a healthy eater compared to a lot of people, but I would eat stuff fairly regularly that probably wasn't the best for me. But after the whole experiment, I found myself being a lot more disciplined in what I chose to build my body with. And I learned a heck of a lot more about where my food comes from and how your food is grown / raised can make a huge difference in its nutritional value. So I was able to make better decisions on what I ate. This video is really long. Anyways, that's what happened. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Please don't hate me. I'm just telling you my personal experience. I don't hate vegans. Okay, if you're vegan, I do not hate you. I actually admire you because I wish that I could eat that way. It obviously works for a lot of people, and I unfortunately just do not think that I am one of those people. I don't know how to end this long video, so just eat food that's good for you, please. That's all I want in my life. I don't want you to die, okay? If you're still here, thank you, but goodbye now.